largely lower, and that is the kind of moves that we've been seeing in those markets yesterday as well.
We're not entirely sure what's going on, but we can see some trends in other markets.
The year-on-year number looks much higher because remember the comparable quarter, the base quarter of last year was impacted due to COVID.
The index itself is up marginally, not too much, about 20 points higher.
You've got big Indian companies like TCS, like HDFC Bank, reporting sparkling results. Your FII flows coming in.
Pullback basically means that it's only making the structure more robust.
An 865 crore IPO, not done really well in the opening tick.
India's first flagship Apple retail store open to the public, and there's no other than Tim Cook welcoming all of them into the Apple ecosystem.
Credit card spends grew by 28.2% YOY and about 15.7% on a month-on-month basis to more than 1,35,000 crore.
I think what's happened in the first quarter of this calendar year is something that was really expected. The sentiment across the globe has been very tepid.
Thousands of people queuing up, some as early as last evening, who camped all night.
Nifty continues to see some pressure, 38 points down, and that is something that the SGX Nifty was indicating as well.
How was the day so far? Hello and welcome to Closing Bell. I'm Reema Tendulkar, with me Surabhi Upadhyay and Nigel, and we're coming to you live from the CNBC-TV18 Motilal Oswal studio. Well, the day so far, it started off strong in the green, and then there was a sudden slump in the market about 1:30 p.m., 2 o'clock, and now things are trying to stabilize. Since about 2 p.m., markets are trying to recover. That trend is more apparent in the banking space. The Nifty banking index was holding up with a gain of about 200 points. At 1:30 p.m., we had a sharp fall. The Nifty bank went down to a cut of minus 100 points, and now it's completely flattened out. Today, remember, is the financial Nifty expiry, so we will be tracking that very closely, and it tends to move stocks like HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, and Kotak Mahindra Bank. Mid-cap outperformance is quite stark today. So the mid-cap index is up close to about 0.6%. And in the last 2 days, we're just on Tuesday, but the mid-cap outperformance is to the tune of 2%. So week to date, mid-cap index is up 1%, while the Nifty is down close to about 1%. What's the problem on the front line? Well, it's Reliance Industries. So Reliance Industries is down 1.5%. At the benchmark level was Infosys, HDFC Bank, and a couple of the other IT names. Infosys, but today those segments have stabilized. Infosys, the last time I checked, actually had a bit of a green tick, so they've not rebounded, but it's stabilized. Even HDFC Bank, the last time I checked, was just a flat. Again, things are on the stable side when it comes to these two names, Infosys and HDFC Bank, the culprits in yesterday's trade. Today, the problem is and weightage, it's taking down the Nifty to some extent. Hi Surabhi, hi Nigel.
Things. One, I was looking at the decline on the bank index, and I think that's been an interesting story today because at least in the first half, the bulls were hoping that banks are going to keep, the things steady. That picture's turned around, and the I was just speaking with Gurmeet Chadha on our digital show, Who Moved the Market Right Now, and I think this is a narrative that's really been built. Ekta and I were discussing it. We'll talk about this on the show as well. A lot of money moving to pharma on the anticipation that the US market pricing pressure is coming off. In general, some hope that earnings will start getting a little better, and the sector hasn't participated. The only problem is that pharma in terms of weightage doesn't really move the needle too much for the Nifty. But for what it's worth, I think Devi, Cipla, Dr. Reddy's, the kind of buying that we started seeing here, this is interesting. I guess sector rotation is still the theme. Money moving a little away from IT and trying to find new pockets. Nigel, what's your read-through of the day?
Well, the buyer dips is intact till the 17,500, 17,550 odd level holds out. And I say that because the 50 and the 200 EMA, both of them are in that vicinity. And yesterday's low is at around 17,570. So that's the reason why I'm holding on to that level. Now, the sectorial rotation continues, and as Surabhi, you mentioned, that the pharma sector is coming in focus. One school of thought is that in terms of defenses, you can't go to IT because still things are a little bit skittish. So the one that's underperformed for the last many, many years, and maybe valuation-wise as well, reasonable with what we have seen in the past. So maybe there is some part of the defensive money that's moving to pharma. The mid-cap index, that outperformance out there, for me, that's the biggest positive. If you pull up the Nifty and you pull up the mid-cap index, month to date, or in the last 1 month or so, you'll see the mid-cap index that was actually getting clobbered, mid and small caps, they have bounced back in style, particularly in this month itself. And, April as a month has always been good for the broader markets in comparison with the Nifty. Maybe we could get a one-month chart of the small cap, the mid cap, as well as the Nifty up. We'll do that in just a bit. The options data, 17,750 and 17,700 call. Both of them are very, very active in today's trading session. And there's a fair bit of writing that we've seen out there. After many, many days, call writing has coming back in. Now, that's telling you that the level, that 17,850, which is closer to around that 100 EMA, and it's closer to the recent high as well. So the bears are going to come in and fight the 17,850, but positioning as we speak, it appears that we'll require a bigger trigger to get past that 17,850 to around 17,900 odd mark. So broad range, 17,550 on the downside, 17,850 on the upside. So 300-point range. Let's see which way it's going to break.
Okay, that's the 300-point range that we need to track. By the way, banks are putting in a fight right now on the way up. Pull up a Bank of Baroda, up 1.25%. Pull up a Canara Bank, that's up 0.6%. Bank of India, big spike seen in the last 10 minutes. That intraday will come up. There you have Bank of Baroda, Bank of India and Canara Bank. These three stocks will tell you the picture of what's taking place in the mid-cap space. Let's tell our viewers then what we've lined up on the show today. Just Style surges in trade on the back of a good set of Q4 earnings. Key excerpts from our chat with the management coming up.
BEML trades in the green after shares of BEML land assets are all set to be listed in the market tomorrow. We'll get you an analysis on how the valuations are.
Nifty Pharma Index up 6% in the last 1 month. Brokerage firms, JP Morgan, Citi are positive on a host of pharma stocks. Details coming up.
We'll speak with Jay Bala of cashthechaos.com, talk about market technicals. Jay, of course, has been maintaining a bearish stance on the market. On the fundamentals, we're talking to Aman Chauhan of Abacus Asset Management. We'll discuss their portfolio positioning